Hello and welcome to Nexus. This week we're focusing on South Australia and on people who've succeeded in their own business. So what's on Nexus today? We talk with one of Australia's best-known experts on child protection, look at the work of artist Sir Hans Hyson, and finish the week with music from Delta Goodrem. But first, tropical plants generally grow in tropical regions, so many people don't have an opportunity to experience a real tropical rainforest. But the next best thing is Adelaide's Bicentennial Conservatory, the largest glasshouse in the Southern Hemisphere.
This building is the biggest glasshouse in the Southern Hemisphere. It's 100 metres long, it's 27 metres high and 46 metres wide. The building is called the Bicentennial Conservatory because it was jointly funded by federal and state governments as the major iconic building for South Australia to celebrate the bicentennial year in 1988. The brief to the architect was to build a building that could contain large tropical trees and show the people of South Australia and any other visitor what a rainforest is like.
The tropics, of course, require a lot of light, natural daylight of very high intensities, and hence we knew from the beginning that we needed a lot of clear glass to provide the various light levels. The other thing about tropical conservatories is that they create condensate because it's very moist inside, and therefore we knew that it had to be shed in excess of 26.5 degrees to get the condensate to drip along the inside of the glass to gutters that were provided. We then oriented the building north-south for several reasons, because there was an axis in the garden, natural axis, and we want to walk around it, hence the lozenge shape as well. But particularly to have a solar incidence, light coming from the east and from the west in similar amounts, to create the temperature that we needed inside. Being a tropical conservatory with the least amount of heating, gas heating that we have here, we're actually absorbing a lot of heat from natural sources. That proves a great point, of course, that if you have glass unprotected in Australia or South Australia, your buildings will get very hot and they need to be air conditioned. This is a lesson not only in tropical conservatory design, but also in building design.
The building was opened in November 1988 by John Bannon, the then Premier of the state, but when it was opened, it had no soil or plants. As you can see, the trees have developed in the last 15 to 16 years since the building was opened, and we now have a microclimate in which we can grow not just the tall trees but the understory of the rainforest. The area represented is the tropical rainforest of Australia, and the local rainforests in the islands surrounding the north of Australia. The glasshouse has a selection of plants that come from those tropical areas. One is the giant king fern, Angiopteris effecta. This fern is very prehistoric and in fact was one of the major food sources for the herbivorous dinosaurs. Another plant was the walking stick palm. The seeds were used as a pepper for the Aboriginal people. However, after the First World War, there was such a call for walking sticks for the disabled troopers that came back. They were pulled up by the 100 because they have a wonderful knobby root system which turned in a lathe, produced a wonderful cane. Some of the bigger trees in here are fishtail palms. They are caryotas. They are unique in the fact that they grow very tall without flowering. But then once they reach maturity, they flower at each node. So therefore, over a period of years, they flower from the bottom right up to the crown, and once they reach the crown, they die. This fishtail palm is in flower, and what you see here is the male parts of the flower, and as they drop, they dehiss all their pollen, which falls through the air and tries to pollinate female flowers in nearby trees. Another interesting palm in here is the pandanus. The pandanus is found in many tropical rainforests, and they surround areas where flash flooding or ponds can occur. To enable them to withstand the flash flooding, they have developed a very strange root system which gives them